How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another episode of NAISB. My name is Reagan Harrell. That is former Midland shortstop All-American. We got a couple guests with us today. Before we get into it, obviously we're doing things a little bit different. We're starting today with an awesome interview. Coach Shane Bouman and Charli Bomgaars from Northwestern College. That's how we're going to start the interview, and then we're going to kick it over back to Carly. Carly and I, we're going to have a brief midweek recap and then talk about the games that aren't getting snowed out this weekend across the NAI softball world. But without further ado, we welcome on two very special guests. It is Coach Shane Bowman. It is Charli Bomgaars. Coach Charli, how are y'all doing up at Northwestern today?
Loving it. Life's good. Snow on the ground. We're using a yellow softball. We can find it when we hit it too far. It's all good.
Well, y'all do hit them pretty far, Coach, and you've been hitting them well to start the year. Teams look great. Talk to us about what's impressed you, and are there some areas you'd like to see improvement from you as the season continues to progress?
We're pretty blessed. We got a lot of returners from last year, so a lot of people know what's going on and know what to do. It's a lot of focusing on the little details. From can we catch? Can we throw? Can we pitch? Can we scrap out some runs? That's kind of what our program has been about for years, and that's really where we're at. It's a different group than last year because every year is a new year, and how can we continue to improve? And we've got off to a pretty good start, and we just look to keep improving.
Well, Coach, I'm just glad you came on. I know initially I was like, I don't know that my co-host. I don't know if there's any bad blood or bad memories there. But like you said before we started recording, you like seeing her there more than a shortstop for Coach Beth.
Yeah, it's way more fun being on this podcast than looking out at her at shortstop. And yeah, we did not fare my first few years here against Midland, and they've had a great program for a long time. From when Mike was there and now when Beth's there, they've made the GPAC what it is. Since I've been here, and we tried to get up to their level, and we're getting close.
Yeah.
Just about there, coach.
As soon as you left, so we could have an opportunity.
Oh, Charli, so you mentioned a little bit earlier before we kind of started recording, talking about us playing each other, and you didn't start your freshman year at Northwestern.
Mhm.
Tell us about your softball journey and kind of what led you to playing at Northwestern.
So yeah, I didn't start my freshman year at Northwestern. I kind of out of high school, kind of wanted that big feel of a college, just thinking that I wanted to follow in my parents' footsteps, going to Iowa State. But then coach still gives me crap to this day. I ghosted him all throughout high school. He came to several of my games, reached out, never responded. So then after my freshman year, all COVID stuff, I kind of realized want to come back home, get that small college feel. So actually reached back out to him and asked if I could just have a chance, sit down and talk, and the rest has been history, I guess.
Coach just had to play the long game, huh?
Yep. Made him work for it.
Um, so now that you are at Northwestern, what are some of your favorite aspects about it, other than like, the smaller school and
Yeah.
have a really good softball team?
So Northwestern as a whole, I would say one of my favorite things is like the Christ-like atmosphere. I feel like not, especially coming from like a big school, that is one thing that has remained a huge difference. The close-knit community. I'm from around Northwest Iowa, and that's where Northwestern College is. So I've just kind of always been used to like knowing everybody, and that's what Northwestern is. I can walk across campus and meet 15 people and probably tell you their first name. So I just feel like being comfortable in my own shoes at my college is just comforting. And I think that's one plus about Northwestern. Another thing is there's a lot of success at Northwestern College, and it doesn't just come from the softball program. I think our fall ball programs do a great job like setting the standard for how the rest of the year is going to go, even after we come back from Christmas break and their seasons are done. Our football team and volleyball team this past year both made it to national tournaments. And I think just setting the standard for how the rest of the year is going to go, I think we fill that well. And I hope that we can again this year. So I would say that was one thing that I really stood out to me about Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean Northwestern's college. It stays at the top of the Director Cup standing year in and year out. Like I said, the fall sports a large reason for that. Volleyball's really solid up there. But football team, man, I've I had the privilege the last couple of years with covering sports in the Sun Conference, seeing them take on Kaiser 2 years ago and 3 years ago in the national championship and the runs that they've gone on. Charlie, how fun are just those football games at Northwestern?
I think for me, I think it's what the teams make it and it's what the administration makes it. I think I give a lot of credit to our AD that kind of came on board. Tony Hoops, I have a lot of respect for him. He's really, over the past few years, has tried to make every single atmosphere feel big, even
Right.
if other team may not be, I don't know, I guess up to our potential, but how can we still make that atmosphere feel like a championship mentality and atmosphere? And I think he does a great job at that. And I think the student body wants to go to the games. It's not just like, oh, we have another volleyball game or so and so, but I think the other teams also do a good job of supporting each other. And I think that's why we're all so successful, is because we see each other being successful and we just want to reach that point too. It gets us excited.
Love that. Well, Coach, you've done a phenomenal job with the Raiders program, putting them, right in the mix along with the volleyball, football, and football teams. I'm sure the other teams on campus there, but since taking over in 2019, you've really built the program up, and really it was my first year with covering it was y'all's like really breaking onto the scene in 2023. But Coach, talk to us about what your vision was for building this program when you took it over in 2019, obviously coming in from a couple other schools where you've had success coaching, and has it changed over the last couple of years as your program does start cracking in that top 25 and top 10 week in and week out?
First of all, I think what Charlie said is a big key. You have to have support. And when other teams are doing well, you got to hold up your end of the bargain, kind of. But it's really just a culture at Northwestern. I think every sport plans on being in the top half of the conference, if not at the top of the conference, and get into a regional and compete for national championships. That's just kind of what we do. That's how we honor Christ through excellence in athletics, the gifts that we've been given. For me, it was how can we create a product that we can be proud of, that we can build powerful women, and how can we show that by the little things that we do on the field? And I think you'll see, if you come to a Red Raider softball game, you'll see a group of girls that smiles and moves their ponytails and has very positive body language. Stuff that's kind of taken for granted, that is probably easy to do, but it's probably easy not to do. And then how can we really focus on that and relay that to softball things? And then if we do those things in softball, you have a chance to win softball games. And that's really where we're at, is our girls have gotten better at softball, become more powerful women, champions for the rest of their life. We happen to win a few more softball games. So hopefully the recipe's working.
Well, it certainly has. It certainly has worked, and I mean, Carly, you could probably attest a little bit to. I mean, you were what exactly? I should know this, but exactly what years did you play at Midland again?
19 through 23. So I didn't see him in my freshman year because of COVID.
But you kind of saw this program get built up within the GPAC at Midland from his
Yeah.
first year
Yeah.
to
I
being
think
better
even
than nothing.
I think all I remember is them being a tough program, and we always played them at the end of the season, and it was always kind of a fight for who was going to host the one of the halves of the GPAC tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you remember dancing in the middle, singing that "Pump It Up" song at the conference championship. Yeah, I'm sure you don't remember that, but
Uh,
I've outlawed that song. You beat us 9 straight times. I know you wanted to bring that up. We're all good. But you raised our. The great thing about your program is you made us better, and that's been great for our conference, and it's great. That's what athletics is all about. Having great teams that you got to compete with, and if you're going to be at that level, you got to be better. And Midland's done that for us. Morningside's done that. We've got a nice conference, and um, yeah, I know she'd be smiling. She should be. When you're 9-0 against somebody, you should be smiling.
hey man, I was like, if you want to do it with just me, have Carly set this one out. Maybe we. But coach, just talk to us a little bit more. Like I said, 2023, break on the stage. Like, all right, this is a team that compete on the national level. Back-to-back years, opening round, but coming up just short to making it into make it to Columbus to the final site to compete for a red banner. Coach, what are the keys for this 2025 Northwestern softball team to build on the last 2 years' success and take that next step and be one of the last teams playing in late May?
What I think the year you're talking about, we played Grandview really early in the season and had some success, and I think it built a lot of confidence. Our girls had put in some work, and they wanted to know if the work was going to pay off. And then once they started seeing some of that work pay off by beating some teams that have been, gone a long ways in the postseason, it says, okay, here's what we can do. We had a good year that year, made the tournament, went out to Klamath Falls. Did not play well out there, but it was a good experience for us. And I think it kind of gave the girls another opportunity. Like, we can play with all these teams. We just have to play well. And when it comes that time, which brought to last year, Cam Atherton, probably one of the best pitchers and players we've ever had in Northwestern history, had a lot to do with that. But when she leaves, now everybody else has to step up a little bit more. And they realize what's there. Controlling what we can control. I know that's a simple thing to say, but if we pitch, we play defense, scrap out a run or two. That's how you win big games, and that's really what we're about. And we feel comfortable that if we can do those things, we can compete with anybody in the country because that's where our program's at right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Charli, as a leader on this team, what's been your message to your teammates, especially at the start of your senior year this year?
Yeah, when I saw this question, I kind of laughed because one of our things that we talk about a lot is that everybody can be a leader, no matter what your role is on the team, what age you are. But my teammates might laugh listening to this podcast because I'm a very vocal leader, and throughout practice, I'm talking all the time. So they're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, she's saying this again. But one thing that I would message to my team is that we can go as far as we want. And if we're going to hang banners in our yuffer at the end of the season, here's what we're going to do. And I think by saying that, they would know exactly what I mean. We have a very veteran group that has been around for a good amount of time to know what the expectations are. But I believe this group has been different here than what previous programs have had, even when I started here my sophomore year and had that jump of success at Northwestern. But also another part of my message is that we have to live by our 5 non-negotiables that our program goes by. And if we do those things, then we'll have a good chance to get where we want to be in May and June, and the softball gods will be in our favor in the long run.
Can you share those non-negotiables, or are they top secret?
They're top secret, but if you're watching us in Oklahoma this next week, you'll see what they are.
Okay.
Okay. I love it. Well, we are very excited to have you down there, Charli, next weekend. Obviously, a big weekend for our organization. We're really, really excited to have you and your teammates and coaching your program down there. But Charli, you're scheduled to play 3 top 25 opponents and a new team y'all don't face much at North Carolina in Montreat, a solid AAC team. How excited are you to drive down south and compete in the first ever NAISB Invitational?
Yeah, I think it's an honor, and I'm really excited to get our team down there. But I think one thing for us is that we've been talking about lately is that we keep our tight circle of our group. And I'm not saying we have secrets in our group, but like what we talk about is what we talk about. And the outside circle can talk about whatever they want to. And I think a lot of buzz that's been going on is you guys have a really tough schedule. And I think that just like gets me even more excited, because why wouldn't we want to play teams that have numbers in front of them? In May and June, that's who we're going to face. So I think getting down there will be a great opportunity right before conference play starts and before we take our spring break trip to Arizona. But I think just playing teams that we maybe haven't met before and don't know a lot about Northwestern softball and how we play and how we do the little things and how we do our 5 things, I think will put on a showcase that a lot of people are going to remember.
Carly, that's
I
got
know.
to fire
Bye,
you up.
pig.
Fire up. Y'all gotta tell Carly she's gotta come down, man. I hate she won't be there for the
Yeah,
weekend.
I'll uh, I'll be bothering Reagan for updates.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean you're not going? We're coming right through Omaha. We'll pick you up. What?
I know, I
Wednesday
know.
night? In the way?
I I'm working.
And we are too.
I gotta pay her more. I gotta start paying her more, coach.
I gotta I gotta work the big girl job now that I'm out of softball.
There you go.
Yep.
But coach, how excited are you to see your team compete in Shawnee?
I'm excited to see him compete every time we go out. And um, we feel like we can play with a lot of teams in the country. I think it's good for what you guys are doing is phenomenal because I think it's going to bring light to all areas of the country and how good teams are competing against each other and how little probably the difference is between 10 to 1 or 25 to 10, that on any given day, anybody can beat anybody. And, it should bring out the best in everybody. But yeah, I think when it comes to May and June, you got to play really good softball to keep playing. And this is a weekend where if you're not playing really good softball, you're probably going to take your lumps, and you should this early in the year. But yeah, I like our chances, and I'm sure everybody does this time of year, which is great. And that's why I think, well, what a great opportunity for everybody that's coming down there. And should be, if you want to see some great softball, find your way down to Shawnee, and you're going to see some unbelievable softball. They see it at NAIA level. I would tell you from being at Division One for 16 years, there's a lot of programs at our level that could play with a lot of high level D2 and D1 programs. And I'm not talking the Oklahoma's the top of the top, but you know what I mean. There's very little difference between a mid major, a good D2, and the teams at the top of the NAIA, and they would see that this weekend when they come to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that's the main purpose of what we're trying to do, and what I'm trying to put on out in Oklahoma is we want to be a great weekend, of course, and have all the teams have a good time. But as years down the line, and we're able to get better live streaming and everything out there to continue to build and build, and I get to be a better tournament director after this one and continue to build it. I hope it becomes something where we get to we get to have more teams, and we get to have these matchups from with Cascade teams and AAC teams and Hart teams and GPAC teams coming down. Again, I'm really excited to have two of the pillars of the GPAC from the last couple of years on the national level, y'all in Midland coming down. It's been one of my favorite rivalries to cover over the last few years. But Coach, talk to us about the Midland versus Northwestern rivalry, as well as the other teams in the GPAC, and how it pushes you and what it's like competing in the GPAC throughout the season.
It's intriguing being a football guy and loving football that, in football, you just can run people over and find a way to win, even if you're not playing well. But that's not how softball works. An average team can beat a great team if the bat isn't hitting the ball on one day. And people don't understand that. But I think, that's what's made the GPAC great. The top has had great teams, but very rarely do they go undefeated because they're going to lose somewhere because of the competition. I would dare to bet there's probably 6 teams in the GPAC right now that think they can win the conference. Is it between us, Midland? Is it Dart? Is it Concordia? Is it Morningside? Is it Doan? I think they would all say we got a shot, and that makes our conference difficult. And then if you go down from there, the rest of the people, well, they feel very confident they can win games as well, and it just adds to if you don't show up, you will probably get beat. And I think that comes down to, what's made us competitive the last few years is we know what we're good at. We got to be great at that. And it gives us chance on every day, even if we're not hitting. And offense kind of comes and goes. For a team like us, it never does for Midland. Midland always hits, when Carly was there. So, but yeah, and I think our conference, when we get out and the top of our conference plays against these other schools, I think it's a great opportunity. And it's big for us in Midland to perform well, I think, next weekend because it does show the nation what we can do. But
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of conference pride. There are a lot of there's a lot of I don't have the exact number of conferences coming, but I know there's like multiple teams from the Heart, multiple teams from the Sooner, multiple teams from the Mid-South, a couple teams from the Cascade. There's definitely going to be some conference pride and some. I mean, if Midland and Northwestern go there and walk out without a loss after the way you start the season, it's like, well, yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's
I'd be fired up.
this seriously start talking about the top of the GPAC being better than the top of, or as good as the top of any conferences. Carly, would you agree? I mean, I think, the GPAC, we talked about it over the last couple of years, it being one of the deepest conferences, but Midland and Northwestern with the starts they have, if they go on that, I mean, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. I'm
It's
rooting for it.
it's difficult for schools at the NAIA to travel the country and play this high level competition where, at D1 they can fly over and do all this where our budgets just don't allow that. So that's why I think this is a great opportunity for everybody and really for everybody in the country to see kind of where the conferences are at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year.
Yeah, and we're obviously super thankful for all 21 teams, but especially the teams coming from Oregon and California, Arizona, North Carolina, et cetera. I mean, it's phenomenal. And again, I think it shows there is a hunger in this league of NAIA softball to want to display what this conference has from Miami Gardens all the way up to La Grande, Oregon. So there's absolutely there's no doubt. And I'm sorry, we got some squeaky toys going on the background. My head's going squirrel. Sorry about that. But we got a lot of dog. My parents just came down. We got a lot of dogs in the house today. So apologies for that. But no, sir, I'm excited for it. I've pretty much since we got the schedule completed, Coach. It's felt like Christmas morning for me. I'm just like I'm ready to get out there. I can't wait to get out there. I'm gonna be the coldest one at the ballpark. I know it's gonna be a little chilly out there. I am definitely gonna be the coldest one at the ballpark. Right.
Um, so kind of stepping away from the softball aspect, Charlie, what are you studying at Northwestern, and what are sort of your plans for after graduation?
Yeah, so my situation was a little bit different. So because I didn't start at Northwestern, I was an undecided major at first. When I came to Northwestern, I claimed a nursing major, so I could get that done in 3 years. So I actually graduated last May with my BSN, my bachelor's in nursing, took the NCLEX this summer, and then worked the fall semester. So I
Wow.
was not with the team during the fall semester, kind of just stepped in to practices as I could, didn't practice, just like fed balls, whatever, was there for emotional support. But then this semester, I claimed a sports management leadership major. So I just am taking 12 credits of that, and then I will continue on with my nursing career after we are done in June.
Well, that's awesome. I know we had a lot of nursing majors at Midland. I know the NCLEX
Mhm.
is stressful and
Yeah.
hard. So congrats on
Yes.
that. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome. Coach, I've been holding off as long as I can. I'm ready to talk some football with you, man. I'm ready to talk a little football. Coach, talk to you and me. We're football and softball guys. We played football all our lives, and softball is has taken over our lives after our playing days. But Coach, talk to us one about your playing days there, South Dakota State quarterback there in the mid '90s for the powerful FCS program, the Jackrabbits, and tell us why softball has been the route you chose in your adult life. Know you played some in college, but just talk to us, about that, your playing days in college, and why softball afterwards.
Um, Late in high school, we started playing fast pitch softball. My dad played fast pitch softball twice a week and every weekend, and suddenly we got into it and we played all over the world, honestly, from national tournaments or world tournaments. Um, my senior year, being the quarterback at South Dakota State, I went from the state championships in Duluth, Minnesota to fall camp late that night, started the next morning. Coach Hensel probably didn't love that, but that's how it was back then. And when I got done playing football at South Dakota State, I continued to play softball for a long time. And then I got the opportunity when South Dakota State was looking for a softball coach and got talking, and Fred Oyen gave me the opportunity to be the coach there. And from then, I've been coaching ever since. And it's just these powerful women play it the same way we used to play. You know, it's fun to just give back my information to them and to watch us compete at the highest level possible. I'm still a huge Jackrabbit fan. You know, follow them. I'm bummed out as ever that we weren't in Frisco this year, but we'll be back.
Coach, it's one of my favorite rivalries, not just in collegiate sports, but heck, even all American sports. But North Dakota State, South Dakota State, when it's on TV, it's must watch. History wise, maybe a little bit on the tougher side of it as a Jackrabbit. But talk to us about what FCS football means to that part of the world, because I've always been fascinated with how big it is in the Big Sky. Montana, obviously, another great program. South Dakota University. Just talk to us about the Big Sky and like what makes that part of the world where FCS football is so special.
I think we get to an area where, you know, we don't have a pro team, and that is the big team, and that's where everybody goes. Is it the University of South Dakota? Is it South Dakota State? Is it North Dakota? Is it North Dakota State? It's very important to them. That's what you do on Saturdays, and you know the schools being so successful, like we're talking softball wise here, it's a factor, and people like to follow winners, no matter what level you're at. If it's fifth grade basketball or as you're moving up, and when you're successful, people want to be around it, and I think that's what it's turned into. You got a lot of schools up here that are doing really really well in high level football, and they're competing with everybody. I mean, they're going playing the big schools and winning. Um, College athletics is changing, but it's fun to be a part of on Saturdays. We do not play on Saturdays in the fall. I'm sorry, Northwestern softball doesn't.
Gotta watch your Jackrabbits, coach. I completely get that. But when we talked on the phone earlier today, you told me something. I was like, oh yeah, we got to talk about this guy. Yeah, obviously, I'm a former punter, held a bunch. Found out you were a holder as well for a pretty good kicker for a long time. Adam Vinatieri, of course. What if those who don't know, the guy that hit a couple game winning kicks in the Super Bowl for the Patriots, big deal, kind of a big deal. Scored a lot of points, more than just about anybody, actually, more than anybody actually. But coach, just this is more just me just wanting to know something to take back to my punters and kickers. What made Adam just such a special kicker? I mean, you're obviously one of the most accurate and big legs in NFL history, but I mean, just what made him special?
The thing that's funny is like when people hit a softball, when Carly hits a softball, it comes off her bat different than everybody else's. And Vinny was kind of the same way. When he kicked the ball, it would come off his foot different than everybody else. He was an easygoing guy that football was important to him, even at an early age, as a freshman. So you've done great things. It's funny that being a holder, that you would brag about being a holder in college, but when you're the holder for that guy, I love to tell people that I was the holder for Adam Vinatieri when he was at South Dakota State. So that's good.
Was he pretty particular? Would he yell at you if you were slacking off? You had it the wrong angle or anything? Was he tough on you, or was he just put it down? I'll get it through the big yellow post.
He was pretty. You put it down and get through the posts, and that was long enough before where there wasn't so much scientific stuff about all this holding. It was get it down, get the laces facing the other way, and everything went through the goalposts all the time. So I wasn't too worried about it. Like that, I can't screw up.
Oh, that's true. Coach Charlie, can you attest, Coach, pretty big on the Jackrabbits around campus?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and his Vikes too. Oh my gosh, when those people are playing, we're out of practice when he wants to be out of practice. He's got to make that game.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Carly, you have any more questions or anything? Or-
Uh, yeah, I got two. Coach,
okay.
what position did you play in fast pitch?
I was that person that stood in the circle and would try to get people like you out.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I just have a phenomenal content idea, Coach. I think we've got to have Carly dust off the bat, get her in an on deck circle, get you in the circle. Charlie, what do you think? You think a little Coach Bowman versus Carly fits her for the people?
Oh, I'd love that. That'd be some good content there, Reagan.
Hey, you guys host GPAC or opening round, and maybe we can make it happen.
Coach, you better get warming up there, buddy.
Dude, I haven't thrown since earlier today, so I'll need a couple days
My
off.
bat's been sitting in my trunk since I retired, so
Still
Gotta
hot.
get that, yeah, still hot.
not in this weather.
Well, come down here. I tell everybody, man, 'cause just come to Florida for a little bit. We'll warm it up. But no, Coach, you have any closing thoughts, or Charlie, anything to talk to us about your part? Thank you so much for your time. This is awesome, man. Just phenomenal. Getting to talk to y'all. Excited to see y'all next weekend. And yet, thank you so much for your time, Charlie. Anything I know senior year, excited. Just last like what are the emotions heading into the year? Just trying to stay nice and even. Because obviously. A lot of softball left to play.
hmm Well, I guess for me, it was kind of like going back and forth if I was going to come back, if I'm being completely honest, just because I had my career path laid out right in front of me. But I think the group of girls, our close circle that we built, really I just didn't feel complete yet. I mean, we've had successful seasons, we've been building the program up, but I think we're just not there yet. And I think that this group wants it and we want to hang banners. And I think that this season's going to go exactly how we want it to, but it needs to come from the girls in the jerseys. That's one thing that we've been focusing on is coaches can only make practice so intense, so particular that he can only put the ball in certain places, but in the end, it's got to be the girls in the jerseys that decide the outcome. And I think 8 games in, I think we've been doing that pretty well. And I think next weekend down in Oklahoma, it'll be very telling how we decide that the rest of the season is going to go into because GPAC play, like Coach said, any game in GPAC play is up for grabs. And I think knowing what's ahead and what's on the line is that these games can determine where we host or if we host or where we go. So I think every game we need to go 1-0. That's main thing that we need to do. Oklahoma will be the same thing. We're going 1-0.
Keep the main thing go 1-0. Coach sounds they got great leader, got a great group. Know you're super excited for the year. Any closing thoughts or anything? Again, just really appreciate you for your time today, man.
No, I appreciate all you guys do for our sport. I think people look at that NAIA as a lower level, and the reality it's not. These girls could play high level D2. A lot of these girls could play Division I softball, and Carly's one of them. There's no doubt about that. But they chose to go to a place that wants to win at a high level and compete. And you're going to see teams in Oklahoma as you get towards the end of the year in the conference championships, in the regionals, at the World Series. These are really high level softball players and softball teams that know how to do it the right way. And we're trying to do all the little stuff to give our team an opportunity to be one of those teams at the end of the year. So if you're those people out there, or little girls thinking about playing college softball and you're a winner, find a place that wins at a high level and go to school there, because you're going to have a great experience and you're probably going to turn out to be a powerful one and be a champion for the rest of your life. And that's what Northwestern College does.
Coach, I don't think and I'm sure a lot of players at the Division I level have a phenomenal time. I mean, just getting to play college ball. But I talk to so many student athletes, not just softball, but in other sports in the NAI, and how much more practical it is for them to be able to play the sport they love, to be able to get a good education, to be in small class size and build relationships with their professors. I mean, I mean, Weber's a small school too, obviously, and I think a big part to the success of NAISB is I got to talk about my business plan with my professors, like professors I got to build a relationship with. And there's tons of stories across the NAI like that where you get to have those relationships with your professors. You get to be a part of a small community. And for Northwestern's case, in which I love, you get to be part of a small Christian community. So you get to, build your faith and build who you are, an important part of your life in that 18 to 22 range ish of being a college athlete. And coach, it's obvious Northwestern with what they've done in other athletics. It's a good direction for the athletic department and what you're doing with the program. It's been a lot of fun, like we said at the beginning, to see it can build, and I'm excited to see it continue. But I'm excited to finally be able to see your team play in person next weekend, man.
We look forward to see your thoughts of our squad. I think one last thing I'll throw at you is that when you're around other winners, that at Northwestern, our girls are around, football players that win at a high level, basketball players, baseball players, and they have crazy high expectations on and off the field. They're around females on the volleyball teams, basketball teams, soccer teams that have crazy high levels. And when you're around people all the time that have high standards and high expectations, that's what you have. Where I think there's some places where they aren't. Softball's good, but football's not, and back and forth, and it makes it difficult. So being here, I'm just telling you from my standpoint, it's really been good for our girls to be around powerful people all the time, and that's what the world's looking for. How do we become champions after we're done with softball? And that's why I'm proud of this group. I think we're going to work really hard. Whatever happens, happens. We're going to be fine with the outcome. But I think God has given us some real gifts athletically, and we look forward to showing them and making him proud.
Awesome. Well, I love it, Coach. Love being able to talk to you today, Charlie. Really appreciate your time too. I love being able to get to talk to you. Cannot wait to see the Red Raider program down in Shawnee. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for. Oh, actually, we're not wrapping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to the interview. We're now going to kick it over, talk about some of the midweek games this week, and then a weekend preview. Got some big ones, especially in the Peach State and down at the Saints Invitational in San Antonio. We'll talk about. So yeah, here's Carly and I talking about those. Thanks for listening to the interview. Well, Carly, like Coach said, I know you went 9-0 against them. You had a pretty good track record against them, but wow, what an interview! Awesome stuff. Northwestern, overdue. Should have really had him on last year. But I was like, yeah, let's give Carly a year with the year away from Midland and the GPAC and everything. Not kidding, of course, but great stuff, of course. You there?
What?
I was just saying, great stuff with the interview.
Yeah, no. I've always loved playing against him. I think Coach is great what he's doing with the program, and it was fun getting to talk to him not on the softball field.
Yeah, like you said, he'd much rather talk to you there than with you over at shortstop. But yeah, great stuff. Appreciate y'all bearing with it. A little bit different of an episode. We felt like this was best just because a lot of games getting canned. We were obviously going to talk about a lot of games over Kansas City. That's not happening. A lot more getting canceled, but we'll talk about it at the end. We'll have Marsh's pick of the week with Missouri Baptist and Our Lady of the Lake. That will be his pick of the week. But Carly, let's talk a little bit about just the last couple of days. Got a few games, but the one that we were excited about in the last episode that happened on Tuesday, Missouri Baptist, Houston Victoria. They're supposed to play two, only ended up getting one. But Carly, Mobap, what a win! What a come from behind win against a solid Houston Victoria team.
Yeah, Mobap off to a hot start this year. Like you said, come from behind. Houston Victoria got off to a hot start, 4-0 lead off the bat. And then Mobap goes on to score 9 unanswered. They had a really big 5-run fourth inning led by Allison Lagraf, 2 for 4, couple RBIs under her belt. Brooklyn Fisher, 2 big RBIs for her. Michaela Johnson going a solid 3 for 4. And then Alexandria Kafala, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Really good win, especially come from behind for Mobap.
Well, especially coming off the weekend they just had. I mean,
Yeah.
beating Oklahoma City in a close game with USAO, really good showing. Okay, here's Houston Victoria, who's looking to get quality wins out of the Red River. I'm really excited. I think Coach Ted's doing a really good job there at Mobap. He's got a good team. I don't. it's interesting. I think there's still people that have not really dialed in with this team yet. And I'm telling, like again, I'm it's them, it's Embry Riddle, it's Johnson. Those are the three teams that I look at that don't have numbers next to their name. I'm like, that's one of the 25 best teams in the country. So we'll see. Embry Riddle will have to prove it this weekend. We'll talk about that. Missouri Baptist has proved it at this point. Johnson, they still haven't got games in yet. But so far, I like it. I like those picks. But looking at a doubleheader from Tuesday in my backyard that was just phenomenal. Kaiser and Oklahoma Wesleyan, phenomenal game. Kaiser is shut out all game. They tie it up in the seventh with the Trinity Rower home run, and then the bottom of the eighth, Claire's Janikowski calls ball game with a walk-off double in the eighth. McKenzie Masternak, 8 innings of six-hit ball, 2-1 win. You know me, folks, pitching. I love it. Phenomenal 2-1 ball game. Game two, Oakwood gets their get back 4-3. Scores three in the top of the first. So, they take that walk-off on the chin. Matty Wise, 2 RBI. Double Brooklyn Bertel, 2 RBI. Double Carly. I know we are so high on Evangel and we love him out of the KCAC, but I think Oklahoma Wesleyan is going to be right in the mix. I think they're an opening round team this year. I think a nice win for both programs. Not, we're going to wait. I know Oklahoma Wesleyan's playing a doubleheader with St. Thomas, but we've gotten three different scores down there, and two of them are outrageous. Could be true. Could be true. But at the time of we're recording, so if there's Oakwood people listening, wondering why we're talking about the Oakwood St. Thomas game, we're just waiting to what. Just wait. I promise. Oakwood St. Thomas, that doubleheader. That's gonna be the first thing we talk about on the weekend recap. We're just gonna have to a Wednesday night. That's gonna have to transition into that. But yeah, so yeah, not a whole lot. A couple things here or there, but those were the midweek games that we watched and kind of stood out to us. But Carly, even though we're going to have a lot of games canceled, still a pretty solid Thursday through Sunday in the NAIA softball world. Thursday we got a fun one. We got a really fun one. So Cumberland, a team out of the Mid-South, started to make some noise. Abby Chapel was big for them. They also bring back Carly Clanair, JC Hatfield back to the Phoenix as well. And they take on a side who had maybe the most weird, interesting, what the heck's going on kind of endings to 2025, to 2024. And it's Reinhardt. It's the Matt Wright era. Excited for it. We are very excited to see what this team's got in store, what it's going to look like under Coach Wright. They bring back a couple of key pieces from last year's championship team and Aaron Lee, Taylor Wade, Macy Langley. But that's going to be a very interesting doubleheader on Thursday.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see what Reinhardt's got with this new era of theirs.
Yeah. Friday through Sunday, there's a couple round robins that we're going to be keeping our eye on, but probably the best. Look, anytime anything's going to Elville, the production Matt Mahoney and company are going to put on the Grizzly Digital Network. It's going to be phenomenal. There's going to be some phenomenal softball played this weekend in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Carly.
Yeah. So Friday we got GGC taking on Lindsey Wilson. A lot of new faces for them. They do bring back Caden Murray, sophomore pitcher of theirs in the circle. And then we know Georgia Gwinnett and Annalise Jarvis and all those faces, but should be an exciting one. Just seeing what Lindsey Wilson can do. I mean, they had an interesting year last year, kind of up and down, but they're on the come up.
Yeah, for Gwinnett, we know what we're getting from the circle. We're going to be interesting to see throughout the course of the weekend what other pitchers throw. Have we? I think Barry's. Yep, get with KB, get Barry back out there solid for in the lineup. See what new faces there are. See Owen, see how she's developed. McLaughlin, who is a big good freshman third baseman, how she's looking at her sophomore year. But yeah, you got Lindsey Wilson's going to be down there playing. Rio Grande plays Georgia Gwinnett. If we could possibly get a Madison Ogden versus Annalise Jarvis kind of matchup, I'm setting the over under at like 35 strikeouts for that game, maybe. All due respect to the lineups, of course, but Ogden versus Jarvis would be crazy. And Ryo's playing Lindsey Wilson in there, so that's going to be some fun ones. Ryo obviously coming off a nice weekend. They're stepping up the competition. It'll be a fun one, but. One I'm really excited about, Carly, way out west, Embry-Riddle taking on College of Idaho. Embry-Riddle off to a solid start. They were that team we're excited to see. As for College of Idaho, of course, well, some big names for them missing from the circle, so we'll kind of see a new look pitching staff for them. And for the Yotes, I mean, of course, Lolo Walker coming back. I mean, Player of the Year candidate, Ambry Jones, Abby Brooks, Ashlyn Nixon, Maddie Powell. A lot of big names for them coming back. So very excited. 3 game set up there. Carly, Missouri Baptist, Our Lady of the Lake. That they're playing one Friday, one Saturday, going down there competing down in West San Antonio. In that one, just a Missouri Baptist, probably the hottest team to start the year. Olu looking to get some big wins after not I want to say stumbling out of the gate, especially after getting those 2 wins against Baker, impressive. But you got to think this would be really nice. They get those wins, and Olu will be really rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be our pick of the week. I've got my treats. We'll for the Marshman. We'll give it. We'll wait. Let's go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about a little Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll do Marsh's pick of the week. He can wait. I'm excited for Simpson Hope International. Hopes look good to start the year. Simpson's team that plays a lot of these schools at the beginning of the year could see something there. Stillman and William Carey, and no, that's no longer a conference matchup, but Stillman, William Carey obviously flex their muscles early in the season. They'll take on Stillman, and then we have Coastal Georgia traveling up to Lawrenceville. They'll face Rio and GGC and compete and on the Saturday and Sunday for it. But Carly, honestly, if we didn't just have Madonna in picks of the week, and I don't want Marsh to pick against him again, and I don't want to. That was scary. Dude, that was scary. I thought I was about to look. And I don't think Ryan will mind me saying this, but I talked to Ryan, the SID at Madonna, and he was like, "Hey man, none of that was meant in ill will." I said, I don't care." And folks, listening, if I say something, and Carly, you speak for yourself on that on this one, but if I say something and I make a prediction and I pick against your team, I don't give a crap. Like, put it out there. Sure, great. We were wrong. You're right. We're dumb. You're smart. Just be able to roll with the punches when they come back, because odds are we're going to get our get back eventually. I mean, we throw enough darts at the board. Some of them guys.
We just posted our way too early Columbus 10, so
I'm not even looking. I'm not even looking. That's why I posted it right before we recorded, so I ain't even got to look at it. I'm just gonna forget about it and worry about the crap in the morning. But yeah, bulletin board material there from with our athletic headshots from the last time we got we got the headshots from the Weber football coaching staff and from the 2023 Midland softball roster. So
yep.
hope you like the headshots. But anyways, St. Xavier Madonna, they play Sunday. What a game. Hopefully that game happens. They might have to, I think they're trying to get that one in a dome. But Carly, that'd be a fun one. Obviously, Madonna only 3 games to start their year. They're 1-2 with Cumberland's. St. X 2-2. So safe to say, 2 really good programs, 2 teams who are heavily favored to win their conference, will be opening round teams. Absolutely. Obviously excited to see Abby Carr, who through 3 games is just slapping the ball all over the field, making a lot of good contact. I mean, I'll take batting 667, hitting 2/3 of the time any day. Obviously these numbers will come down, but Fiona Crane's off to a really good start for them. She leads the team with 7 total hits. Aubrey Warble, of course, is doing phenomenal for them. So excited to see them against Madonna. That's going to be a phenomenal. Just kick your feet up, crack you an ice cold one. Enjoy a little Saint X Madonna. Enjoy just some Northern NAIA soft, but yeah, some sweet tea. Absolutely, let's have a day. Have a day. You want to talk a little bit about Madonna, and I'm gonna get the Marshman set up.
Yeah. So a couple key players. Like we said, they're only 3 games deep. But Mackenzie Ming, we know all about her. Hitting 375 right now, 3 RBIs for her, a couple RBIs for Ella Thomas, Bryn Anto. Um, and then, like we talked about Monday, still figuring out the pitching. We know Jane Anderson. We know she has the talent. Um, but yeah, still just figuring out, I guess, how they're going to go about it. Um,
Yeah. Like we said, they don't have Slough, but they'll be
yeah.
solid. Good. All right. So I know obviously these are, can you even tell? Can you tell?
I could see Mobab. Olu's a little it's quiet if you'd say. There you go. A little bit better.
How's that like? A little bit better.
A little
Okay.
bit.
Well, we may not get this
We don't
posted.
have our artist.
No, fortunately, my lovely girlfriend Sydney is not here tonight. So it's just Mobap and Olu. Marsh, come be the star. Come on, let's go. What are you doing? Come on, come on. You ain't getting paid by the hour.
Yeah.
All right, Marsh. So you're 1-0. Probably we're going to be 1-1 because let's face it, Weber and LSUA, that was not going well before the rain delay. It was a lot to a little, so you got saved a little bit. You got a mulligan, but you're 1-0. Let's keep it going. All right, here we go. We've got maybe the hottest team in the NAIA softball, Missouri Baptist. We've got the defending national champions, Our Lady of the Lake. Who you got?
He has spoken.
He is going with the upset. He is going with the upset. Oh, Gus and the rookie are not going to like you, man. Are not, though.
Oh,
I didn't even know. He kind of just ate the Olu treat out of my hand, too. So that may mean split. That may
yep.
mean split.
Yep.
Marsh, you're starting to become a little bit of a left hand merchant, by the way. It's back-to-back weeks just picking the treat out of my left hand. I don't know. Maybe he's meaning split. Maybe he
Yeah.
means, I don't know. It's a good boy. And we'll wrap it up like this. Carly, you got anything? I'm turn. I don't feel there. Just
No, you're good.
watch out. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Look at that guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I don't have any more treats. All right. He's like, screw this dad. All right. Yeah. Again, phenomenal interview. With Coach and Charlie. That was fun. That was a
That's
fun.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, always great for me to talk to another football guy playing for South Dakota State. Awesome stuff. Yeah, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Got some great NAIA softball games. Stay warm. It was brutal today. It got down to 74 in Florida.
I got
What do you get up to in
three
Omaha?
negatives and 3 inches of snow.
Yeah. Somebody's going to have to get some needle nose pliers and pull me off the
So
peninsula.
the wind chill tomorrow morning when I go to work is like -15 to -25.
Oh my God. Yeah. Y'all Midwestern folks are tougher than us Southern folks. Don't let anybody tell you different. We couldn't do it. But all right, awesome stuff, Carl. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Love y'all. Have a great one.